name is Joy. I also go by Kuma. I am a business owner. I have a brand called Baruch Blessing. I am also the CEO, founder of On Fyre Cypher. I'm also the co-founder of Fyrenation Crew, and I am a professional dancer.
My name is Anthony Gassaway Jr. I am a professional street dancer, instructor, choreographer, and one of the chief organizers for On Fyre Cypher, but also the other co-founder of Fyrenation Crew.
My mom got sick in 2013. She had cancer. I had already known I wanted to be a dancer since I was a child, but I just did not have the space to express how I wanted to, and I was very much a shy child, so that didn't work out very well for me. But I had the idea in about 2014. She went to remission, and then it came back more aggressive by the end of that year. I was like, I need something, some type of outlet. I'm like, I don't want to be out like walking around the house moping because my mom's sick. I don't want her to feel like I'm not going to be okay if anything happens. So I bottled up a lot of that stuff, and I know dance was always an outlet for me.
And I had already been focusing on ways to show people how to turn their passions into careers. And it was kind of like once we met, those two ideas that had been brimming finally were able to come into fruition. Fyrenation Crew actually came about from the concept of having a nation of dancers that are on fire for what they do, being able to represent the foundations, the fundamentals, the elements and ethics of hip hop culture and community, bringing it to the next generation, but also representing the ability to rise to the top through positivity.
We had the first one in Woodstock, and I was super excited. I was also tired. I didn't know what to think of anything. I don't think we had much of a turnout that day. In my mind, when I saw that, my first thought, when this is how I knew I was going to keep going with it and how I knew I was actually passionate about it, I was like, well, I don't care if there's not many people here. This is for them, but it's not technically a thing that has to stop if they're there or not. This is something that I want to be long lasting. This is something that I want to go into the future and expand and touch whoever it's supposed to. When people hear about the On Fyre Cypher for years, people will walk up to him and say, congratulations on your event. They completely ignore me for the longest. And I understand that talking to a man's wife can be offensive in some cultures or in some settings and whatnot. I'm a businesswoman when I'm doing business. I'm not just a wife. So to me, I can separate those things. It's necessary to separate those things because when I'm talking to my business partner as opposed to my husband, we need to be able to not bring the emotional, I'm not cooking the dishes, I'm not cleaning the dishes, or I'm not cooking now because you said something I didn't like, so I separate those things. So what I realized is in rooms where it came to where I'm assuming it's a business environment because we're here talking and networking, people will adamantly, let me get your husband's number, or let me talk to your husband about this, or let me do this, and he'll send them right back to me.
Ciphers have been going on for generations. And what happened was, in a community area, you'd have music, you'd have exchanges just like they do in Africa historically. And you have people jumping out dancing, you have people singing, people sharing stories or knowledge. And that whole aspect of community is what's important even nowadays because people are losing touch with humanity. And for us, it's a return back to what this was meant to be. Because when people get so lost in trying to project something that they're not, they end up trying to make the community feel like they owe them this reverence or this resource or this support that they don't owe. Because if you're not impacting with that natural human society, that community that you live within, the society has nothing to say back to you.
On Fyre Cypher is for the community. In this aspect, I believe that it provides things that others don't think about when it comes to a cipher that may happen naturally but aren't imposed upon. We impose upon resources, we impose upon networking, we impose upon community and like actual fellowship. You don't have to be a part of our crew to dance with us. You don't have to be at a level of our stature to dance with us. You don't have to know more than a two-step, or maybe if you just like music, you just want to be around people that are within a culture that maybe you don't see anymore. When you're at a cipher that I'm aware of, it's expected that you dance. It's expected that you at least do something. I don't expect you to do anything. I want you to come, Do what it is what you want to do. Enjoy yourself. Talk to me if you want to. Don't talk to me if you don't want to. But I'm going to approach you anyways, because if I see a new face, I'm going to say something. Just so you know.
We didn't have support. Okay, so we came out of pocket. We DoorDash and everything, and we put the events on for free consistently. We didn't just quit because one person showed up. Through all of that, we didn't have anybody funding what we were doing on that level. We still went international. So now, if I'm not mistaken, we have one of the first ATL-based events that's free, family-friendly, open to the community, that successfully, independently went international and still tours around and has subsectors and categories in different countries. September 24th, 2022, Uganda. Never had a We On Fyre Cypher event ever in history. And because of somebody that we connected with, Professor Mark, who's out there in Africa, he represents Cypher World's Radio Africa, and we later on brought him into the crew. And when he was asking to set this up, people had never even heard of We On Fyre Cypher. And over 200 people showed up because of the idea on that first day. And it was like 200 people plus from traveling from other villages and stuff in Africa, converging on Uganda. And the biggest thing that they talked about was not how many people were there or who had what music. It was, yo, we need this. We all came together. They were sharing world news, health news. They were doing cultural dances and sharing different types of techniques and stuff with that. And ever since then, every time we've heard from the people in those areas, because from there to Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zambia, even the Congo that we've gone to even recently with our event, all of them always say the same thing, and that is that what they needed was the cohesiveness of people coming together in a common ideology that builds infrastructure for the community. Her Cypher does that.
I feel as though I don't express a lot of my emotions. When I first met him, I didn't at all. And so I feel when I'm dancing that I can be the person I see in my head that apparently doesn't show out into the world. And it's like giving yourself a hug of light.
When I'm dancing, I'm not even aware most of the time of what I'm doing. I'm in a state of like just thinking of, I feel something. And I'm acting on how I feel, and it just moves. And when I'm done, I get up and I'm done. And then later on, I'll see a video and be like, well, that's how it looks? Like, really? Because I'm not worried about doing the biggest, best thing out there. I'm getting out a sensation that I haven't gotten out. And it's like I'm saying something that I haven't been able to say. And because of that, when you tune into that level of what you're doing because you love it, it takes away all the inhibitors that we have as humanity.
There's so many people that were supposed to be something, and they wonder why they're unhappy in their lives. They're living, they're doing what they got, they have everything they need, but they're still unhappy. It's because they were not given the things they needed to achieve their calling. So nourishing the creative aspects of people has been a very big goal for me. That's part of what the We On Fyre Cypher is. And so having hubs in different states, in different countries, to be able to do that, I feel as though even if it's a drop in a pond, I think that that's something that can help people in the long term, not just my lifetime, but within many lifetimes, so that people don't feel like there's only one way to get to a goal.
Honestly, success for both the crew and the event is us continuing to do this and creating a lasting legacy that's going to help change the mindset and the way people think about the community, their own artistry, their identity, and the way they are with other people. Because that's all we really set out to do, was to represent the positivity of this thing to the fullest.
Long-term success. Looks like We On Fyre Cypher hubs in different countries, different states. I'm providing resources to the creative communities, nourishing creatives as young as you can get them, so that when it does come to them being older, they have the tools they need to go out into the world and just do what it is that they feel their calling is. When I don't express, I feel worse. When I don't say, I feel worse. When I don't do, I feel worse. And so when it comes to being able to express yourself and express the things that you typically can through dance or your creations, such as drawing, crochet, all types of things, I find that it's less about having an audience. It's more about being able to just let it out. My name is Joy Kuma Gasaway,
My name is Anthony Firefly Gasaway,
and this is our voice.
and this is our live.